Imagine, you are 9 years old, living in a one-room log cabin as a pioneer. And your mother is sick, with no hospitals, no medicine, and no doctors. It was October 5th, 1818, in southern Indiana. Abraham Lincoln was merely 9 years old when his mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln, died.
When his mother got sick, she was there in the cabin, and when his mother died, she was there in the cabin, right in the midst, in the center of the home. Undoubtedly a traumatic experience both for him and for his sister.
What I want you to try to do today is to put yourself in his place and try to imagine what that experience must have been like.
There were constant outbreaks of disease during this time period. Oftentimes, people had no idea why they were sick. For Nancy Hanks Lincoln, we know now that she died because of this flower. It's called the white snake root. When eaten by cows, the poison from the flowers goes into their milk, causing the deadly milk sickness.
Milk sickness was feared only second to cholera. There are some instances where almost entire communities were wiped out by these outbreaks of milk sickness. She knew she was going to die and called up the children to her dying side and told them to be good and kind to their father and to one another and to the world.
As just a boy, Abraham Lincoln had to help build his mother's coffin.
The experience of death was an extremely important part of life for the pioneers. I mean, they lived with it on a much more intimate level than we do today. You really couldn't escape it.
What I liked about this program was the sense of realism. Like, they take something that we don't see very often and we take to heart, and they showed it how it's done in a different time period, and it's just a little bit more real than just reading about it in a book.
The program was meant to show what life was like for the pioneers.
Something like this will actually create a tangible memory, one that they can feel and touch and have emotions attached with it, and that will stay in a person's memory and that will stay in their brain for years.
It's important to understand this part of Lincoln's history and what it was like when he called Indiana his home.
Especially as we get older, I think we can look back at certain things and we can say, well, you know, I believe this or I think this way because of something I learned when I was this age. And so if you can get people to understand that Lincoln went through that same kind of a thing, I think it does humanize him a bit. I think it makes him a little easier to understand. It brings that iconic figure down to a more realistic level.